I'll talk about it.
But what about those little cups?
Those are garbage.
Okay.
Those are garbage. Those are garbage. Whatever they are, those are garbage. But they're probably a number 5 container. Polypropylene. You're right, actually. They are probably.
And when the foam is attached to the, not the foam, the foil is attached to the top of a plastic container, does that matter to you? You can get it off, right?
Give me an example.
Well, like yogurt containers, you rip the thing, it doesn't
Right.
come off. And even those Keurig things, I think they have a piece of foil or something on the top.
That whole thing is garbage. That whole thing is garbage. The whole thing is garbage.
It's like the little jelly things or the sauces that Burger King would
Garbage.
have.
All that is garbage.
But you
Remember,
can use but the yogurt containers are okay.
yogurt containers are
You
fine.
just gotta get all the metal off of it.
Yes. Even if you leave a little bit off, that's not a big deal. But just remember what I told you, that the plastic beverage bottle containers, only 20% get recycled. So if you were to even let go of the yogurt containers and just focus on these,
You'd be doing.
automatically the recycling rate will shoot through the roof. So you see what I'm saying? So remember the bigger picture though. Okay, because some people make a big deal about straws. They make a big deal about these little things right here after you open it up, these things. The bigger point is that you're recycling. A lot of people, you're going to see the crazy stuff people throw in there, then you'll realize, oh God, my perspective is wrong. I'm going to completely change your perspective on recycling, okay? Number 6 is polystyrene. Now, polystyrene is more commonly known, or the patented name or the trademark name is styrofoam by the Dow Chemical Corporation, okay? They actually told us to stop using, they told Waste Management a cease and desist letter to stop using styrofoam from all of our publications, so we have to change it to polystyrene. And does anyone know why?
It's a brand name.
What?
Brand name.
They don't
It is
want,
a brand.
and they don't want to give it a bad rep.
Not necessarily. You all are right, but here's the real reason. If I say make a Xerox of something, what does that mean? Make a copy. When a word becomes commonplace, you can't trademark it anymore. So,
aspirin.
yeah, exactly. It's really acetaminophen, right? That's a chemical name. So aspirin now is a common name, you can't trademark it. They didn't want styrofoam to have the same outcome, that's why. So anyway, here's the problem with styrofoam. That actually is a huge market. You make a lot of money off styrofoam. But here's the problem. If I have a container the size of this room, and I fill it completely up with styrofoam, you know, the white light stuff, and I put it in a shipping container and I send it off, the amount of money that I'm going to pay for shipping is going to be much more than the amount of money I'm going to make from the commodity, because it's very light. There's a machine called a densifier. It's very expensive, like 100 grand. You put all the styrofoam in, it melts it into a chip, a hard chip, and that's what you recycle. But the problem is, it becomes a cost-benefit analysis issue. Does it make business sense to do that? And how are you going to collect the styrofoam? Clean styrofoam. A lot of stuff that I'm showing you, technically could be recycled, but you have to put a business perspective to it. You have to get the material clean. Okay, what's a cost-effective way to divert this material? And it has to be clean. Because if you're a company that likes styrofoam, that, look, I'll pay you top dollar for styrofoam, and I send you styrofoam, but it's filthy and it's dirty, it's going to mess up your machines.
Really?
Why you have?
I thought that you just melt it down and then the skim off the shit.
It's not necessarily that easy. I wish it was that easy. I wish it was that easy. Because afterwards, when I talk about what happens to the material, you're going to think, oh yeah, they make it into bottles, they make it into this. It's not even that simple. It gets, when money is involved and there's global markets involved, you can do a lot of things with recycled material. Okay, but it doesn't always necessarily go towards what you think it goes to. Okay? So anyway, number 7 is called other plastics, sometimes called ABS. Like that camera he's using, that plastic on that camera could be ABS plastic. ABS stands, it's a long chemical name, I don't even know it.
Acronyl butyl styrene.
Were you an engineer?
Never had plastics butyls.
Gotcha. Bingo. There you go. There you go. That's why you asked me some pertinent questions. I like that. You asked me pertinent questions. I was wondering, why is this guy doing this? He knows his stuff. That's good. So, you gotta write that down. Oh, I can just look it up. Okay.
Video.
So yes. Anything I should add on this? No. No. Now, let's go.
Nylons and stuff like that, like thermosetting plastics, are also not recyclable.
Unfortunately, no. You're right.
These are all thermoforming plastics.
But you know, another thing that I do have to mention, that on the commodity side again, we do make an effort. If we find this material in the recycling, we do make an effort to separate it out and sell it as mixed plastics, because there is a market for mixed plastics. So I don't want you to think that just because you throw it in here, again, you're not supposed to be putting it in here, and most of it is all garbage and scrap, and it damages our equipment. We still try to make an effort to recycle this stuff. Okay? Okay, very good. Now let's go to metals, and then we'll get you suited up. Ferrous metals and non-ferrous metals. You all know the difference.
Iron.
Okay, ferrous means iron. Ferrous is Latin for iron. Okay, so if I take an aluminum can and put a magnet to it, will it stick?
No.
No, because it is a non-ferrous metal. Iron, magnets only stick to iron. Okay, so there's two types of metals in the industry. They refer to it as ferrous and non-ferrous. The first thing, aluminum or non-ferrous, this can be recycled. Recycle as much aluminum as you can, because the commodity pricing on aluminum is very high. Right? Aluminum is very good for the environment to recycle. When they make aluminum from bauxite, it's very bad for the environment. Very, very bad. They don't even do it in America. They do it in third world countries because there's no regulation over there. It's like in South America.
Do you have statistics on what percentage of aluminum cans are recycled compared to the plastic bottles?
I do, but not with me. I can send that to you. It's an EPA report I can send to you.
I was talking to somebody who was advocating not using plastic drinking water out of a can because he said the recycling rates were higher.
And he's not necessarily wrong, because what the beauty of aluminum is that with plastic, when I recycle this bottle, all right, there's not 100% retention. I mean, in other words, when they melt this up to make it into little tiny pellets, there's a small percentage that's lost throughout the process. Usually about 20% is lost. With aluminum, there's almost 100% carryover rate. Okay, so that's the positive thing with aluminum. And again, aluminum can be made into many different things.
Was it ever made into new soda cans?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. You know those aluminum bats? They have car parts, especially.
No. If you threw out a ton of aluminum cans,
You can make a ton of aluminum.
is it recycled into aluminum cans?
It could be, yes. It depends on the customer that's buying it. So, if, for example, if a bottling company like Coke buys it, then yes, there's a very high likelihood that's what they're going to do with it. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes what they do, now again, it's up to the recycler, to the plant manufacturer, the bottle or can manufacturer. They can mix new aluminum with old aluminum or recycled aluminum. Okay, they do that sometimes as well. Not only that, the next metal that I'm showing you, steel and tin. Okay, these are ferrous metals. This stuff right here, which looks familiar, a lot of the steel and tin cans have aluminum in it as well. Okay? So yes.
So therefore what? Do they go in their single stream recycling or not?
All of it goes into the recycling. All of this is recyclable. Regardless what it is, put it in the recycling. Okay? This is the metal and steel and tin, ferrous, non-ferrous, whatever the case may be, put it in the recycling. Okay? Very good. This stuff. Does it look familiar? Okay. This is one of those animals like a duck-billed platypus that, you know, like weird stuff. So these aseptic containers are made from a few different things. They have paper in it, they have plastic, and some of them have aluminum in it. You don't have to worry anything about that. Just put it in your recycling.
Oh, okay.
Okay, just put it in. I'm just giving you additional information on it. Put it in your recycling, okay? Alright, all this looks familiar, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what happens to this is there's a vendor that gets all of our material aseptic and they make it into paper towels. Okay? They have their own process, whatever they do, they make it into paper towels. And of course, my favorite, glass. Clear, green, and brown are the three major colors. How many of you in here, I don't want to make it sound like you all are alcoholics, but how many of you are big drinkers in here? Or wine drinkers? It's okay, raise your hand.
Beer.
All admit to it.
Thank you, Ted. That's good. It's really it's brave of you to
Yeah,
do
one.
Okay. All right. How many of you like drinking Bombay Sapphire? Do you like Bombay Sapphire or Sky Vodka?
The blue glass?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. The blue glass. That seems to be popular now, but if you really look at the markets, clear, green, and brown are the three popular colors, major colors out there in circulation. Glass is even bigger than the other two. 2/3 of glass that's in circulation is clear. Green and brown make up 1/3. Okay? The blue glass, even though it seems like it's all over the place, it's not as much.
But you take all color.
Yes, technically put it in there and get recycled. Now,
Multicultural glass.
the downside with the glass is that it costs waste management money to recycle it. So we have to pay $13 a ton to recycle glass. So now, if you're looking at a for-profit company, why would we pay to recycle something?
Because you have a good heart.
Of course. Well, people, planet, profit, right? Of course. The truth of the matter is, glass in some areas in the United States is not being recycled. Okay, you know, if you look at a contract, a lot of the cities and municipalities, the reason why they still insist on glass being there is because it adds weight and volume to their tonnage. And
For statistics?
for statistic purposes.
Wow.
But the truth of the matter is, glass can be recycled, but the fact that you have a 3 mixture of glass, clear, green, and brown, and if you look at the end product, it looks like dirt. It's very difficult to clean up that material and market it.
So do you need to you have to separate them?
But it costs a lot of money to separate
Yeah.
glass. So that's one of the downsides with recycling that glass kind of suffered. Now, if I ask you, would you prefer drinking beer or an alcoholic beverage from a glass bottle, a plastic cup, or an aluminum can? Which one would you pick?
Glass.
Glass bottle.
Okay, a plastic cup is plastic. I told you what photodegradation does. Okay, it does alter the taste. Even aluminum cans, if you look in the can, there's a plastic lining in the can, so it doesn't rust, obviously, and that kind of alters the taste. The other day, I drank a Coke from a glass, and I swear it had a different taste to it. Okay, so any questions on glass so far?
So we do put this in.
You can put it in your recycling.
It helps with your statistics.
With your statistic, because I think you all get a certain. See, the way it works is that cities get a certain percentage back, rebates based on the tonnage. So that's why cities like glass.
So that's what you were saying.
Also, we pay less to the solid waste.
The what? Say it again.
We pay less to the solid waste because it's keeping it out of the solid waste.
That could be the case. Depends on the contract. Yes.
That's good.
So
And
very
you're
good.
recycling the glass.
Well, thank you for doing that,
Is
yeah.
that filling up the dumpster?
Well, I mean, it's not out of the goodness of their hearts, they have a market for the end products too.
They lose money on it. I wouldn't make dresses for
We
people.
we use money on glass. On the other stuff, there is a bit of a profit. Now, keep in mind that we're a slave to the markets. The commodity pricing is all based on what the markets. Okay? This is like.
Goes up and down like pork bellies.
Exactly.
So I read that when with the economic downturn, China wasn't making as much stuff and sending it here, and they didn't need as much packaging, and the market for paper went down.
Yes, you actually said a very ugly truth that the recycling industry, a large portion of it, it is dependent on a lot of international markets, specifically China. India is a big market too, South American markets as well, but China, yes.
So how much could that percentage of recycling happen? Like you said, 80% of the plastic bottles aren't recycled. So let's say you get all this information out and let's say now 50% are recycled. Could you handle that in your?
Yeah, no, definitely.
I mean, that big of a,
Right.
of an increase?
That would be a problem that we prefer to have. That
Okay.
getting more good material. But unfortunately, when we go outside and I show you the material that we're getting in, you're gonna think it's garbage. That's how bad the material that's coming in. We're getting a lot of contamination. A whole lot of. In fact, let's put it this way. If I get, keep in mind that the more contaminated the material is, the more money it costs us on the processing side to clean it up. But it comes to a certain point that if there's a load of recycling that comes in, and it's contaminated at a certain point, let's say 30 or 40%, the whole load is garbage.
And by contaminated, you mean people aren't rinsing their things out before?
No,
they
no,
do it?
I'm talking about people putting some wacky stuff in there. Garden
Oh.
hoses, steering wheels, car bumpers.
Dog poop.
Dog poop we can handle
Oh, okay.
because it washes out. It's just you have plastic chairs like this. People are putting tables. People are putting their recycling bins in the recycling. Okay? Our systems, keep in mind, you're going to see, aren't meant for this stuff. They're meant for bottles and cans. So when you have something big that comes in like this, especially plastic bags, it's gonna wrap around stuff. Glass is another thing. Even though we can handle glass, it's very abrasive. Because it's very rare that we get glass. And let's put it this way, a good 70% of the glass that we get is already cracked. Okay? And that just is very abrasive to the system. Yeah, go ahead.
I have to say something. I'm a fairly well-informed, engaged citizen. I don't think anybody in this room would argue with that. This is like so freaking news to me.
Mary, I
The
love it,
whole
you're like a
word-
newborn here.
The whole word that comes out of City Hall and the refuse department is, you know, the wonders of single stream recycling. Throw it in there. I never in my life heard all these distinctions about what can and cannot be.
I
But I'm
totally,
happy that
I agree.
I totally
That's
agree,
why
I was
had
gonna
them
say the
come,
same thing, I
because
think you guys should have a
I started
contract
reading about it. I thought,
legwork to inform people better.
Right.
Yesterday I was in Clearwater, and my daughter-in-law is so excited with her recycling. She has a sticker on the recycling bin that's in color, that's clear, that pictures all these things,
Right.
and says what should go and should not go. We don't get that kind of
But
information.
see, that's what we were told when we started the single stream, is we don't have to worry about that stuff now with the two different bins.
Right.
Just throw it all
But
in there.
Lake Worth,
Who
Lake
knew?
Worth is a smaller municipality, right? How many, what's the?
35,000.
So within Palm Beach County, is Lake Worth one of the smaller cities?
yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, what's smaller than Lake Worth?
Well, actually, we're about halfway down the list
Yeah,
of
we're
about
about
30
halfway down.
municipalities. We're actually.
So there's more smaller
Oh,
cities?
much
Yeah.
smaller.
Oh, there's a lot.
Like
of
Lantana or
them.
something?
Lantana, like
Yeah.
Biloxi,
We're
Palm
We're like
Beach, I mean, there's a
7
lot.
out of 38
Okay.
municipalities,
Yes.
we're not as small as you think.
No,
Right.
Okay, so they didn't
Okay.
give you any type of paperwork?
no.
Well, it's not stuck to the
some
bin in a
flyer.
way
Yeah.
that it was
Originally they dropped
constantly
off the
there.
bin.
Oh, you
There
might
might
have
be
got
something
a
when you give you the
brochure,
dates
but,
of when.
you know, it's
When
not
You know the
available.
schedule.
And
Where
we're
should
gonna
get
get
there is a sticker
I've read,
on the
I've
bottom, on the
read
bottom,
it.
inside of the
It's
lid
not-
of the
it's not- it's
recycler or
not-
something
yeah,
are
'cause I've read
constantly
it
there.
numerous times.
Right,
And
We're
when you
also-
lose it,
I can't
you have
remember.
They
constant
go to a
reminder
lot
to
more
remember.
to explain
See,
what's
we're also about
acceptable as
52%
bulk.
rentals, so you have a lot of people that never even. When those bins were dropped off a couple of years ago, there was something rubber banded or
Okay.
taped to
Yeah.
the top.
These don't.
Okay, those things are long gone.
Okay, so
So-
let me talk to you.
And
Go
it's
ahead.
not on our website either, because
Okay.
I've gone over it many times trying to figure out what I can put in there, and I can't find the information. So.
Well, they
Okay.
do that annual trash schedule thing in the.
It's
That's
very
what I'm
visible
thinking
on
it is.
there.
Ted, can you make sure
That's
you
what
shoot
I
me an email
remember.
afterwards?
Sure.
Okay, we'll try to fix that,
We
get
should.
some
Get
information.
some stickers or whatever.
If you have information, both
Yeah.
physically and electronic,
We'll
that
take care of our
you
neighborhood.
can. Well,
That would be a
Sure,
good
you
thing to
got
go
all the
through the
kids
neighborhood
here.
associations and a sticker that we could put on our
Get it
recycling
to me
bin.
and I'll make sure all the neighborhood
Yeah,
Mary-
associations
Mary-
get
She's
it.
the president of the Neighborhood
Very
Association
good,
Council,
very
so she's got contacts
Gotcha.
throughout the city.
Excellent. So far you like this presentation?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
As long as you're not gonna dump on Keurig cups.
No, I use it. I love Keurig. You know, the issue with Keurig cups, those damn things got me hooked on coffee because it's so convenient.
Yes,
That's why.
and such the right, just
Yeah.
the right amount
Right.
in
And
my cup.
fresh and
So, very good. I actually stopped
in by
drinking
the
coffee
machine
for a
yet.
month,
No, I'm not.
and I don't want to go back, but I'm craving
You
coffee.
did, good for you.
I've never
Son, too.
drank coffee, maybe I should.
That's good. You drink tea? Are you a big tea drinker?
Not like a little time, yeah.
I think tea is better, but
well,
tea's
they are coming out with different, not Keurig cups, but K-cups
right.
from other companies that don't have the hard plastic cups. They've got like a fine mesh
Oh, you can reuse it though.
instead.
They're
No,
reusable
use it?
bin
No.
cups.
There are
No.
some.
There are reusable.
There
Right,
are
I have one of
reusables,
those.
but that's not what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. These
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
instead of a plastic in each cup, it's got, almost like a
Like a
tea bag, but just a little bit stronger than that.
But the outside still is plastic.
No, I'm telling you, it's not. That's what I'm telling you. Is
Gotta
it's
look that
not.
up then.
Yeah.
Interesting.
New England Coffee, their
Okay.
individual K-cups works in a Keurig.
Remind
They
me.
use it.
Remind me afterwards. I want to write that down.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Everyone, get up.